Welcome, everyone, to the January edition of Conversations with Archbishop Joseph Kurtz. As always, if you have questions or comments for us, please send them our way, and you can do that to conversations@archlu.org. And thanks a lot for that. Now, we're in January. Happy New Year.
Well, thank you, Brian. Great to be with you. I hope this is going to be a blessed year.
Hope so,
2014.
Too. 2014. You know, whenever you're in January and after you deal with New Year's resolutions and they get out of the way after the first couple of days, you spend time talking about the year behind you and the year ahead. And that's what I thought we could talk about first here.
Perfect.
A lot of great things happened last year, and we got a lot of great things ahead in the coming year. Last time we talked in December, you had just been elected to the presidency of the USCCB, the U.S. Bishops' Conference, and no doubt we'll be talking about that periodically during the year. But right after you returned from the election in the Bishops' Conference, you went off to Mexico.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about that. So can you tell us about that?
Sure, Brian. Thanks for, and I'm so grateful for that. It was the election. I came back on a Thursday and left the next day, Friday, for Mexico City, right in the middle of November. It was both a pilgrimage and an encuentro, which of course is Spanish for a meeting. I like the word encuentro rather than meeting.
Encounter.
I hate meetings. I love encuentros. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me say that it was first of all a pilgrimage to the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Cardinal Ouellet and the Commission for Latin America from Rome, they organized it. There were probably 500 pilgrims, all invited guests to this special meeting. And the Knights of Columbus were very, very helpful in being involved in it. It was basically an effort to take a gathering of Salem, which is the Episcopal Conferences of Latin America,
Okay.
That met in 2007 in the Brazil Shrine of Aparecida. Okay. And guess what? There was a bishop an archbishop from Argentina who was involved in that. He's now the Pope, and our Holy Father wants to make sure that we continue the spirit of Aparecida, which is basically an intercontinental mission of evangelization. So we were gathered in Mexico City before the image of our Blessed Mother, who appeared in 1531.
Guadalupe.
Now, Our Lady of Guadalupe. And one of the things that Supreme Knight Carl Anderson said at the meeting, he said, well, remember, in 1531, there were no borders. It was all one America. And so our Blessed Mother, sometimes we think, well, Our Lady of Guadalupe is kind of a special gift for people who are from Mexico. And of course, that's true. But she belongs to all of us. And I thought that was a wonderful insight. He also said, guess what? 2031 may be a great miracle of renewal that the Blessed Mother gives us, especially renewal of family life.
Wow.
Well, I calculated if God gives me, I'll be 85 years old. So I can't wait for 2031. That was the pilgrimage, and we had each evening rosary, we had a mass, we had a chance to process in pilgrimage. It was very moving. And then the meetings were actually presentations given. Cardinal O'Malley gave an excellent presentation. You would like this. He said, in the United States, whereas a few decades ago we were cultural Catholics, you pretty much were born, baptized, and raised. Now, he said, we're called to be intentional Catholics.
Okay, that's a change.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, very good.
That you have to make a decision now to live your Catholic faith. And one of your favorite words, I know, is to be engaged.
Yep.
And so I think it was very much part of that. We're going to continue on that. Actually, next month, in early February, I'll be in St. Petersburg, Tampa area, hosting a gathering of the officers of CELAM, which would be Latin America, of the Canadian Conference, and the United States Catholic Conference, to continue
this conversation.
It is.
That's great.
So there's lots of things going on, and I hope people who are in our viewing audience will understand that what we're a part of with evangelization is a part of a great church. So it's a great opportunity.
You know, when you were elected, you said one of the hopes was that not only could you help contribute to the national church, but this diocese could benefit. And this is a great way to hear that benefit.
It sure is. It sure is.
Let's talk now about the two of the things coming forward. In 2014, two big issues for us in this local church is, first we have the Synod. Our Holy Father is called the Synod on the Family. That's the short title. There's a formal title for it, which is Pastoral Challenges to the Family in the Context of Evangelization. We have that going on, and we also have a process going on for our own strategic planning as a diocese. Let's talk about the Synod first.
And you know them well.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll be talking more about the Synod, but we had some good consultation that I've just pulled together now, recommendations for the first document. It's called the Lineamenta. It's the threshold document.
Okay.
There'll be then more consultation, there'll be another document, and we'll have other opportunities to prepare. I'll be blessed to be one of the delegates at this October's meeting in Rome. It'll be a 2-week meeting, and then the following October, 2015, there'll be a wider meeting that really will look at what we might call a sound anthropology. How do we think about what it means to be a human person?
Okay.
So great gift. Now let me turn the table a little bit.
Okay.
Because strategic planning and being very intentional, as Cardinal O'Malley said, is something that you've led us in now for more than 20 years. Tell us a little bit about those plans for the
We're right at the great point to talk about this. You know, we've been doing strategic planning as a way to coordinate our work as an archdiocese since 1989. Every 4 or 5 years, we take the time out to do an assessment of what's going on in the local church. That involves everything from looking at demographics, parish life, our resources, human and financial, numbers of priests, lay ecclesial ministers, resources. So that goes on. At the same time, we do a lot of listening. We ask our people, priests, parish staff members, diocesan staff members, the lay faithful, how can we best move forward? What is our question in strategic planning is always not what's the most important thing to do ever, but what's the most important things for us to do next. So right now, we've finished the process last fall of gathering all this data, and in the month that we're in now is the planning commission that you've appointed will work, this is pastors and staff, and work together to start articulating our plan for 2019. So
that's great, and you know, I know we're going to be talking about it again because we'll be running out of time in a minute. But it struck me that every family does prudent planning.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what you're helping us do.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Oh, there's many great themes. Everything from Catholic identity to Catholic schools, from evangelization to vocations to cultural diversity and diversity of our faith. All those are important, and that tells us a little bit about what's coming up in the rest of the show. You have 2 good guests coming up, and some of the themes in our strategic plan will be about that. And the first one will be about Catholic education, which was all over the feedback people gave us for this new plan. And you have alumni of one of our schools is going to be your next guest. So
looking forward.
Looking to the next segment. Stay with us as we prepare moving into 2014 in this January edition, Conversations with Archbishop Kurtz.